This is a public hearing held at the Daviess County Courthouse on Thursday, February the 18th, 2021 at 5 p.m. The only item on the agenda is the Coronavirus Response Utility Assistance Project. For all those folks who are watching out there, if you have any comments during or at the end of this hearing, just text them in or email them in, and we will get them and try to either answer. If you have any questions, we'll try to answer them, or we will get your comments to Tom Lovett, who is with the Green River Area Development District. And Tom is here to tell us what we're doing and why we're doing it. So Tom, if you would approach the podium. I would suggest, since we are socially distanced, that you can remove your mask, and that way we'll hear what you've got to say. Is it on?
To push on the end?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
One more. Tap it. There we go. Yeah, it's better. Did anybody bring the batteries?
I think it's better. We'll see. I can be pretty loud.
There, you're doing fine that way. Go ahead.
She's bringing you another one. That one's on.
Okay, yeah, this one's on. Okay. Judge Mattingly, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Lovett. I'm with the Green River Area Development District here in Owensboro, or here in Daviess County, actually. And I am here tonight as a public hearing, as part of an application on behalf of Daviess County for the CDBG Community Block Development Grant CV Utility Assistance Program. What this is it's a grant. Maximum amount of the grant award is $200,000. The money will be used to assist people who are in arrears on utility bills because of COVID-related issues. The way this would work is Daviess County is applying, Fiscal Court is applying, and they will choose a partner agency, someone along the lines of Audit Area Community Services, probably, but it's not been decided yet, who will administer the money. People who are in arrears or in jeopardy of having their services cut off will apply to them. And then Audubon Area will oversee the money, and that money will be paid directly to the utility on behalf of the customer. Okay? We have to have a public hearing for this. That's what we're doing here this evening. Like I said, I'm helping Daviess County with its application process, and if you guys have any questions or concerns, anything I can answer. Yes, sir.
I have a question. If we do get this grant, how long will it take before we get it? Do you know, or is there a time frame?
I'm not 100% sure, to be very honest. This thing is moving very, very quickly. There are a lot of questions that they're still coming up with answers to on the fly. I know that one of the things we had to do as part of the grant application was an e-clearinghouse with the state of Kentucky, where you have to get all the different agencies to sign off on the proposal. That's a 30-day process, and we did that on January, I think 6th, 5th, 4th, somewhere around there, like the 1st of January, right after we got back. And so we can't do anything until around the 4th or 5th of March. We can't actually file the application until then. And then, you know, it could be 30 to 45 days after that before we get an approval, assuming, you know, the application is good when it goes up there. And I'm hoping it will be, but I just don't have a timeline any more specific on that.
Commissioner, we applied immediately. Whenever we found out this was available, I told Joanna Shake with GRAD that we wanted to be the first ones there.
Yeah, and that's been the mandate. They came to me and said this one will be the first one that goes in the mail.
That's right.
And
secondly, 60 to 90 days generally, and that includes the 30 days for the clearinghouse, so 60 to 90 days. 60 days from, you know, would be in April, 90 days would be in May, and we might talk in terms of the issues that you have. Well, people are out of the need for heating assistance and all that. But the good thing, this is not just heating, it's gas, electric, water, and sewer or wastewater
It can be any of those, yes.
And in having a conversation with Audubon area 2 days ago, about the potential for them to be the ones to distribute it, since they have what's called a LIHEAP program, low-income assistance. They have a lot of money right now. They are able to help a lot of folks, but they may run out of that money, and they're looking at this money. It might not be a bad thing if this money comes in a little later in the season. So, but really, we don't know. I think the city was promised money back in April. They prepared to do everything, and they got the money in November.
One of the things they told us with DLG is, yes, it can be used for any utility, but they really stressed water and sewer, because LIHEAP is available to assist with heating assistance and some of the other issues. There really is no assistance for people who are at risk of losing their water utilities. So, you know, it can be any utility, but that's probably the focus is going to primarily be, I think, water and sewer is my understanding at least. But then, again, that's up to fiscal court, whatever you guys want to do.
Tom, you talked about, you said in arrears with their bill or
Yes, sir.
behind. So a disconnect notice is not going to be required if somebody is running along and they're a month behind or
No, sir.
whatever. Secondly, typically with CDBG funds, there is a low to moderate income folks they can get the assistance.
Yes.
My understanding is that is waived. It's not going to be low to moderate
I don't
anymore.
believe that.
It's
Yes,
just-
I believe you're correct, sir.
Yeah,
That's-
just if you are in arrears with your utility bill.
as long as you can
Right.
explain that it is COVID related, you know, it can't be
That's
someone who
correct,
just
yeah.
decides they're not paying their bill anymore.
Okay.
But yes.
Commissioner, any?
Couple questions, Tom. Were you on the I guess the information meeting that they held?
Yeah, but I didn't hang around for the conversation you had with Blake. I had to bail out after the official meeting ended. But yes,
Okay.
sir.
Well, I know that already RWRA said they've got a substantial they could use up the whole 200,000
Yeah.
and not be made whole for their customer base. So I guess two questions. One is this money that has to be spent and then we get reimbursed, or is this money that we're going to be handed a bucket of money to spend?
My understanding is it's the second. You will be given money to spend. You're not going to be getting reimbursed for this.
Okay.
The other thing that's worth mentioning is the way the program is set up. Any entity that applies can apply for up to $200,000 in funding to pay for this, and then once everybody who applies has received whatever they apply. You know, if let's say McLean County applies for $100,000. You know, they don't apply for it, they only need $100,000. Once all the first rounds is through, then communities can come back and reapply for more money for situations just like RWRA, where, you know,
Right.
yeah, I mean, I've seen they sent me their arrears numbers, and yeah, you're right, they could eat the whole $200,000.
Are you saying that entity could apply or local government would
Local
apply?
government would apply again, yeah.
Kind of like the CARES funding
Yes,
after.
Daviess Fiscal Court
Yeah.
could come back.
Okay.
Now, David asked me this beforehand. What I don't know is whether that would mean it would be an entirely new application, or whether it would just be like a reauthorization of.
It would make sense, reauthorization.
I think that's what it's going to be.
That's not the way government works.
But
so.
that, honestly, as far as I know, that hasn't been decided yet. But I believe what they're going to do is go with that second option. We don't have to do a whole new.
And the other thing you just said that I didn't pick up from that training meeting or that DLG meeting we were on is so everybody who could apply has to apply and get whatever they're going to get before we could. If we went through our 200,000 real fast, we can't just reapply to everybody else. That's.
Honestly, I don't know the answer to that. I'll check with. I'm supposed to talk to GLG tomorrow. And
I
send them-
think the question, Commissioner, would be, is there a cutoff date for the first round of applications?
If that's the way we
Yes.
want to say it.
Yeah, but the cutoff date for the first round of applications is June of 2022,
Okay,
June
so-
30th of next year.
Okay.
Oh, my.
So I don't think they're going to make you guys wait that long
Yeah.
if you want to come back again.
Okay.
They should have a gauge of how it's going,
Yeah.
I would,
But, I don't know, you got to know communities like Louisville
Yes.
are going to be champing at the bit. $200,000 for them is not going to be a drop in their bucket. So-
Correct.
Well, but I think, isn't Louisville, just like the city of Owensboro, city of
Probably.
Henderson, they are what are called entitlement
entitlement city, yeah.
communities. They've already got their money.
Right, but there
Now,
got to be other,
Yeah, can they come back? I don't think that the entitled communities are gonna be able to work out of this bucket.
right,
I
that was my
don't-
understanding as well.
yeah.
That's- Owensboro cannot apply, but Davis County can.
Right.
And that's why we're doing this.
Now, and we have had some questions from folks who lived in the city and said, wait a minute, I live in the county too, and they're absolutely correct. The issue that you have is the city's entitlement funds, CDBG funds, were to do the same thing, and they were used to do the same
Right.
thing that these funds are to do outside the corporate limits. Now, the city of Whitesville, not entitled, but the city of Whitesville can apply for up to $200,000. I'm going to assume that if they were to apply, any monies that aren't used have to be returned.
I would think so, yeah. Well, one of the things we have to do is, and I mentioned that I looked at RWI's numbers, we have to get all since we're applying on behalf of
Right.
Davis County, we're talking to every utility
Sure.
that serves Davis County, so that means we're talking like Hancock and North
Right.
McLean, and getting the arrearage for Davis County entirely. So we've talked to Whitesville already. So when you apply, you have to say, they're not just going to give Whitesville $200,000. Whitesville has to say, here's what we have in arrears. So we want, we've got $20,000, so give us 30, because by the time we get the money, it'll be up to $30,000.
So we're gonna be looking at what do they call it now, the Davis County Water District, the combine. We're gonna be looking at RWRA. We're gonna be looking at OMU serves some in the county.
Right.
We're gonna, Atmos Energy, Kenergy, does KU come into the county somewhat? You also have the Ohio County Water District, you have McLean County Water District. Does Henderson, I don't think Henderson
No, not
comes
Henderson.
in here, but you've got a lot of, we're gonna easily use up to $200,000.
So,
Any other
As
questions?
far as you know, is Whitesville going to apply? Because they certainly, on that Zoom meeting, they certainly encourage counties to be the applicant.
Yes.
And not the different communities
and
inside.
that's the message that I think GRAD is putting out to the communities in the GRAD region is let your
Okay.
county apply and go through it that way. Now, Whitesville can do whatever they want, but
Right.
I think we're encouraging everybody to just apply through the county. That way we don't have, 3 or 4, like we were talking about before, over in Henderson County, you got Henderson and Roberts.
Right.
You'd have all these little communities applying, and it just makes more sense to just do one application for the entire county that would cover everybody. Now, again, Davis County is unique because we have Owensboro, which is an entitlement city, and it's a problem. But Henderson County, it would cover everybody,
Right.
and it just wouldn't be an issue. So, but yeah, Whitesville can do whatever they want, but we're encouraging everyone to just apply through their county.
Okay.
But if they could do it, the thing would be Whitesville apply for $200,000, Davis County apply for $200,000. Where if Davis County did it, we're limited to $200,000 that we
Well, I
got to
think
then split with Whitesville.
I don't think Whitesville could apply and receive $200,000. I think they would apply for virtually, essentially what they need.
Sure.
And so they're not going to wind up with,
But what the point I'm making is if $200,000 is all that one entity can get, now you have 2 entities, Whitesville, whatever they get.
Yeah.
We still have $200,000 to
That
use
reduces-
outside those corporate limits.
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Jordan, have we gotten any comments or questions that you know of? David, nothing? Okay. Commissioner Colger, any questions, comments?
No, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Wathen, anything else? Have we satisfied the public hearings requirement? I think we have. Tom, thank you. You don't have to hang around. I would say that if anyone should have comments that they would like to pass on, that you can call the GRAD office, ask for Tom Lovett.
Yes.
You can call Davis County Fiscal Court, 270-685-8424. ask for Jenny Warren, the fiscal court clerk, and Jenny will record them and pass them on. Tom, do you have a number that they could call you?
Yeah, you just call the grad main line, which is 926-4433. It's real easy to remember. Yeah.
926-4433.
4433. Ask for Tom Lovett, and
Okay.
they'll get you through to me, and I'll take any questions or comments, and I'll get back to folks. Anybody on Facebook who's watching and has any questions, please just holler at me, and I'll help you out best I can.
With that, I declare the public hearing closed. Tom, thank you. You don't have to stay. Gentlemen, if you would, stand. And now we'll open the Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting, Thursday, February 18th, 2021. Commissioner Wathen, would you lead us in a prayer and a pledge?
Yes, dear God our Father, thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed on Daviess County. Please protect our military, our deputies, and our police from harm's way. We ask that you protect all of those who have been affected by the pandemic in any way. We ask that you bless our country and protect it from those who wish to harm it from either inside or outside the country. As always, we ask that you give the members of this court the wisdom to make good decisions. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and once again, I want to welcome everyone to our February 18th, 2021 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. We are meeting in the newly remodeled and refurbished courtroom. I think it really looks nice. Joe Paul did a great job, aided by Jordan Johnson and Jerry Alms. I see the engineers sitting over there. I think he directed them while they packed stuff in and out. But anyway, I think it gives us a lot better access for people in and out of the courtroom. I hope that our sound system is better. We took it through a dry run Tuesday, and we had a lot of folks complaining that they couldn't hear us, but I think we got those bugs worked out. Jordan Rowe, I called him Jordan Rowe, is sitting in the back of, it is Jordan Rowe, it's Michael Rowe, isn't it, that I was thinking of. Jordan Rowe sitting in the back, hiding behind the monitor, and he's doing all the things that we used to have somebody else do. So I think we're ready to roll. Jenny, before you go, I'm going to introduce Art Maglinger, our Daviess County jailer. And while Art is not on the agenda, if you guys would allow, I've asked the jailer to come and give us just a little bit of an update on the jail, what's going on out there, number of prisoners. As you're aware, we had COVID run through the jail not once but twice, and I thought it would be nice that we start having the jailer come on in maybe on every quarter, every 6 months, talk to us about what's going on out there. And I'm going to ask the sheriff to do the same thing, since we contribute a substantial portion of their budgets. So, jailer, Art, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you, Judge, Commissioner, members of the fiscal court. I'll speak a little closer here.
Yeah, turn it on. Let's try it.
I was going to say, does he need to hold it?
Yeah, there you go. You can hold it up if you want. That way you don't have to hunker over.
Thank you, Judge. The population right now is a little bit less than what I submitted to you all yesterday in the report. We're at 603 inmates. A breakdown of that would be around 245 county inmates, around a little over 200 state inmates, and then we have 94 federal inmates at this time. COVID update. We had gone just about 3 weeks ago. At the height of it, we had about 52 active cases. We are down to around 9 active cases at this time and 4 pending tests. Thankfully, it's going downward in the right direction, consistent with what the county is also going down. We still continue to take measures. We knew it was a matter of time. We were one of the last agencies hit with this. We made it till November without having an outbreak. Hats off to the staff for doing a very good job, as well, the medical staff as well.
Is that it? Is that it?
Whatever you want me to report on, Judge.
I think you're going to get a few questions here. First of all, Art, thank you for what you guys have done out there. It's a tough and thankless job because people in our community or other communities see their loved ones behind bars. And here, particularly during this pandemic, they're concerned, they're worried. You know, I have questions quite often about our statements that, you know, nobody allows the inmates to communicate with the outside. Tell me, how does an inmate communicate with their loved ones, or a wife to her husband, or husband to his wife?
Sure. We have several modes of communication, one of those being the phone communication, video visitation. It was an opportune time with the pandemic when the public visitation was shut down because of the safety concerns. And then also, in addition to that, we offer a digital email service where the public is free to email. It's free to the public to email, I think, up to 100 emails a month to each inmate. They're able to get 2 free video visitations during this time each week per inmate, so the families are able to check on their loved ones incarcerated.
So it's 2 video. How about phone?
The phone, they get a booking, and then it is, I think it's 16 cents a minute for.
Oh, okay, so they're charged for a phone call. Okay. The money that comes in off those phone calls, we just stick in our pocket, right?
No, sir.
Where does it go?
It depends on if they put it on the inmate's account. It goes back into the prisoner benefits, which is the commissary or canteen account. If the public does it, it is a portion of the revenue for the
Okay,
tax
so-
subsidy.
So if the prisoners are paying for it, any of those monies collected go to benefit the prisoners themselves.
Yes, Judge.
One other question or statement, and I find it ludicrous sometimes, the things that people dream up about what goes on in the jail. And of course, what they're hearing is it's typically loved ones who talk to somebody in the jail and they're told a story that seems almost impossible or improbable. Do we provide any kind of protective measures for inmates as far as the COVID? Do we have masks? Do we have, tell me what we do there.
We've been dealing with this for the last year. It started with deep cleaning regiments. I think late March, early April, our staff has been wearing masks. New intakes have been wearing masks. Inmate workers have been wearing masks. New intakes off the street that are arrested, they're quarantined for a period of 14 days before they would go to any general population cell. So we've taken very extensive measures to
So
prevent it.
hand sanitizer is available?
Yes, Judge.
Plenty of soap and water?
Yes, Judge.
Masks are available?
Yes, sir.
And I'm assuming it's a requirement that you wear a mask in
Yes.
common areas?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. How about being able to keep them apart, keep them separated, socially distancing?
With correction setting, it is difficult. The cells, they're in close proximity. There's bunks. So there is limited ability to socially distance, but to the extent that we can, we have with programs. When we had those before we had to suspend them, we had social distancing in those, only 10 per class. So we've taken the best practices we can to keep the inmates and public and staff safe.
Well, you've done a heck of a job, because for us to keep COVID out of our facilities until I think the first outbreak was in December.
Yeah, I think it was late November, early December, Judge.
When all the others had outbreaks initially, right at the very beginning. I think you and your staff have done a heck of a job under what at best are trying conditions.
Thank you, Judge.
Commissioners, questions, comments?
I know we used to have inmates who, I guess, were on good behavior and certain qualifications, they could go out and work in the community. Have we suspended that? I assume we have during the COVID.
That has been suspended because of COVID.
Okay. And you may not be prepared for this. I'm just curious, of the 245 county inmates, Are these ones that are waiting for trial, or are these ones that have been sentenced and their sentence is less than a year, so it's in the county jail versus a state penitentiary?
He better be prepared. I told him you were going to ask that question.
Oh, you did? Mind reader, huh?
Of the breakdown of the county inmates, around 221 are pretrial felonies. They're facing felony offenses in court. Some of those are very serious cases. One thing with COVID is the courts have met with people through video court and things like that, but it has stopped the court process to some degree with COVID. So, and then 42 are probation and parole violators, and then 13 are pretrial misdemeanants, which means they're facing misdemeanor charges.
Okay. Because I know the ones that are all pretrial are on our dime, right? The county has to pay for those. And I know prior to COVID, we had, I think they called it the rocket docket, where they were trying to push cases through. Has that essentially stopped with the COVID, or?
It stopped momentarily. I guess it's just part of the pandemic. It slowed down the court process, but I want to thank the courts for still not forgetting about us at the jail either.
Okay.
They are still seeing people through video.
Right. All right, thank you.
That's a good question, though, Commissioner, because of the folks who are in the jail. Now, let's forget the state inmates, because we're going to assume they are felons and there are some pretty serious offenses. Let's forget the feds. We're going to assume they're felons and pretty serious offenses. So let's talk about the 240 or so local inmates, the ones that come out of Owensboro and Daviess County. How many of those are in there for just a minor offense?
Only see 13 pretrial misdemeanors, so they usually are released after a few days or weeks, so it's mainly guys facing felony charges.
Well, the question, and what's prompted that question is we see on Facebook or hear a lot of times that we need to empty the jails and let everybody out because they're in there for minor offenses, minor substance abuse offenses. Claude is sitting over there, just shake your head, Claude, but I know that particularly since COVID and even prior to COVID, if someone's picked up and had a joint in their pocket or were doing something they shouldn't do, particularly where they might have been taken to jail in the past, now they're given a citation and given a court date. They never see the inside of a jail. Isn't that correct?
That's correct, Judge.
Yeah. Most of the ones that are picked up and are typically traffickers. So, they're trafficking in drugs. They're the ones making the big profits and bringing havoc to our communities. Child molesters, sex offenders, those kinds of things that we pretty much are told. And I'm assuming, Claude, we're told what we've got to do with them.
I'd say the larger number of the ones that are there now are likely domestic violence.
Okay.
I would guess that somewhere in the neighborhood of 25% of those felons are awaiting charges on strangulation.
Is that right?
Oh, that's a new charge, and that's the one that we just don't let them out.
Okay. I mean, one of the things that I've been advocating and trying for years is to try to do away with the bail inequity where people are picked up, two people charged for the same offense. One of them doesn't have the means to make the $500 bail. Another guy just writes a check or puts up cash and he's out. I think that we need to look, I think that what we need to do as a result of COVID, what has become the new normal, we need to look at making it the normal where we start writing tickets as opposed to throwing people in. We need the programs, and we do it here locally. We have our substance abuse you have the SAP program or substance abuse program in the jail. We have drug court. We're probably one of the few communities that have teen drug court because the city and the county put the money up and pay for that.
I'll mention another one we have that reduced the population of the jail is our mental health court. We have
Claude, this is important.
We significantly reduced the number of misdemeanor charges that are awaiting because they often will go to jail because we don't have any other place to put them, and we're getting a lot more of those out, as well as the felons on a pretrial release because they need to be out as opposed to in jail.
So I
We
think.
work with the jail to try to identify those and get them into places that are more appropriate.
Would it be fair to say, Claude, that on a lot of these issues, we don't have any choice locally? These are things that have been passed by the General Assembly, that the administrative offices of the court tell us what we're doing, and.
A lot of the releases and things are,
Right.
yes.
Right, so while we would like to see things done a little differently perhaps, our hands are tied. We have no choice. So, I guess just one other thing that I've got to ask you, Jailer, so how do you pick the inmates when you were able to send an inmate out into the community to do a little work? How do you pick them?
I guess for the offsite out of the jail, it's better if they're not from this community, so they won't make connections with potential contraband and that type of thing. But it's based on institutional behavior, a history of their work ethic from deputies that know them.
Okay, do you force them to go?
No, it's voluntary, Judge.
I would think that from our experience, the ones that have worked out at the landfill and the transfer station, they want to go.
Yes, Judge.
It
They
gets-
miss it during this pandemic.
Yeah, it gets them out of the jail for 8 hours, and they get a hamburger and french fries and a Coke. How many of those do you serve in the jail?
Every so often, maybe once a week.
Yeah, okay. Anything else?
I
Yes,
just
sir.
got one question. The federal inmates, does that count low now than what it has been in the past?
It's higher than it has, but we have been up to 100. So one of the things to not create classification and overcrowding issues, we had ceased from the Vanderburgh County contract to be able to house more federal inmates.
Okay, thank you.
And we stopped our McLean County contractor, chose to. I think they were looking to do something else anyway.
Yes, Judge, that's correct.
Tell me what do feds pay us now?
It's a $55 a day per diem, and that had gone up from $40 a day about 4 or 5 months ago.
Right, and plus they pay transportation.
Yes, Judge. And
What does
guard
a
pay.
state prisoner pay?
$31.34.
That's why we want all the federal prisoners we can get. And kudos to the jailer. The previous jailer and I had been working, trying to boost that up. When Jailer Maglinger came along, we all of a sudden saw a boost from, typically we ran about 20 prisoners, and he gradually moved that all the way up between 90 and 100 prisoners. That's a significant increase in revenues from those prisoners. I think probably, and we really don't have the figures, but everybody I think knows that Daviess County Fiscal Court contributes a portion of the jail budget because the amounts of money that we get from the state and the Fed nowhere covers the cost of our 245 prisoners now, 250 prisoners. I do remember that I saw somewhere somebody said they thought the city got $300,000 a year in profit from the jail. I thought maybe that's a direct payment for the city because we don't see none of that money, do we, Jim? And we certainly make no money. While they might think that we profit off the inmate's labor, that's a voluntary thing for the inmate. And in my way, they're willing to go out and pay for their room and board. We're willing to allow them to do it. So,
It's a good system, Judge.
okay.
If I could,
Yes, sir.
Claude mentioned that some of our felony people have gotten out on pretrial release. Is that, so let me ask you, do these others, Claude, just not qualify, the other 220 that were?
Yes.
Yes.
As I mentioned, a number of those are domestic violence or assaults with strangulation, and the Commonwealth's Attorney's Office and we have decided that we just will not reduce their, whatever bond has been set as a general rule. So
I see.
less violent offenses, or non-violent offenses, they are more likely to get some kind of bond consideration, reduced bond, that would allow them to get out, or they meet the pretrial release criteria.
I see. Okay.
I think one that, Claude, don't give it back yet. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, is what it comes down to.
There's some of that, yes.
If you release somebody and they commit another offense and take somebody's life or injure them, then the public's not gonna treat you very nice. At the same time, if you don't let them out, the public's not gonna treat you very nice.
Right.
So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And I think that, I think personally, I think Claude and his office does a good job. Commonwealth Attorney does a good job. I know that Jailer Maglinger and his staff do an excellent job. So if there are no other questions or comments, Jailer, do you have any? I'll give you the last word.
No, I was just going to say the most common charge that people come into is a failure to appear, which means they've been given at least one chance to appear in court and they have failed to do so.
Okay. Well, thanks for everything that you've done. You and your staff stay safe and continue to do the good job of maintaining the health and safety of the inmate population as well.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Don't feel like you got to stay. I wouldn't if I had a choice. Jenny, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Item 1, consideration for presentation, A, proclaim February 2021 as Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month and Black History Month.
Okay, we have emailed the one for teen dating month, haven't we, Jenny?
Yes.
We have emailed that, so I'm not going to read through all of it. But very few people understand that teen dating violence is a public health problem. A lot of it goes on and it's more prevalent than what we know. But we have sent this on to the appropriate folks. I've asked Commissioner Castlin to read the proclamation for Black History Month. I signed that several weeks ago, and we have, I think, Jordan, we posted it on our Facebook. Yes, so Charlie, if you would read it into the record.
Okay. Whereas each February, we celebrate Black History Month, and this year's national theme is the Black family, representation, identity, and diversity. And whereas Black History Month seeks to emphasize Black history and its cultural contributions to American life, and is designed to recognize and pay tribute to the many contributions of African Americans to the history, society, and culture of this nation. And whereas Black History Month celebrates the achievements of African Americans in the arts, civil rights, education, entertainment, government, history, law, literature, medicine, military, music, politics, science, sports, and other endeavors. And whereas Black History Month allows us an opportunity to recognize the heroes of African American history, including James West, U.S. inventor of more than 250 patents and professor at Johns Hopkins University, Marie M. Daley, the first African American woman to receive a PhD in chemistry in the U.S., who taught and conducted research regarding foods and diet and their effect on the heart and the circulatory system, and Katherine G. Johnson, one of NASA's human computers who performed complex calculations that enabled humans to successfully achieve space flight. Now, therefore, in Daviess County, Kentucky, Daviess County Judge Executive Al Mattingly does hereby proclaim February 2021 as Black History Month.
Thank you, Commissioner. And Jenny, I guess,
You're welcome.
will you send this on?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Next item.
B, Treasurer's Report for January 31, 2021.
Mr. Hendricks.
Cash balance at January 31 is $48,314,535. General fund is $22,291,145. The funds are operating within acceptable levels and anticipated, and I have no other issues that the court has not already been made aware of.
Question or comment, commissioners? This is just a presentation, a copy of which is on file with the fiscal court clerk. If you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to contact Jenny Warren. I might take this opportunity to let everyone know that since this is a Zoom meeting, if you have any comment on anything during the meeting, and we kind of is delayed, so we won't know that, but if you'll send us a message, we'll be happy to try to answer your questions or comment on whatever you might need. Toward the end, you will be asked to comment on anything other than what was on the agenda, or to ask a question about anything other than what was on the agenda. And we certainly would try to answer those things. So Jordan and David will be watching for those. Next item, Jenny.
Item 2, consideration for approval, A, Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting minutes from January 26, 2021.
Motion approved.
Second?
I have a motion second. Commissioners, you all had a copy of the minutes in your possession for some time. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
B, all claims for all departments.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Mr. Hendricks?
I'm good.
Oh, what did I do?
It's claims.
Oh, these are claims. All right, I'm out of order once again. So I have a motion second. Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the bills due and payable by Daviess County Fiscal Court in your possession for some time. Any questions of the treasurer? I wish you'd have a question. There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
C, audit engagement letter with MCM CPAs.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Now, Mr. Hendricks?
This is the audit engagement letter for our annual audit that the court is required to get. For fiscal year 2020, the state auditor's office performed that one. We were awaiting the final report. It was being held up because they didn't have the guidance to do the section 133A audit for the CARES money. They've just gotten that. They held meetings on it, and I believe they are finalizing that piece of the audit, and we should have a final report in another couple of 3 weeks. So this is for fiscal year 21, and we've had MCM do them before. They do a good job. They are in good standing with the state APA office. I've reviewed the engagement letter. It's a typical form. I recommend approval.
Question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
D, reinstatement and amendment to procurement and service agreement with International Paper Company.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. David, I think that's you, right?
We have had a agreement with International Paper in Henderson, Kentucky now for quite a few years, and this is just a extension of that agreement. I think it's a 3-year extension, and they bring us about 25,000 tons a year of paper sludge from their paper plant in Henderson, Kentucky, keeping the same terms of the contract.
Question? Comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
E, apply for the CDBG Coronavirus Response Utility Assistance Project and authorize to execute any and all documents related to same.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, during the public hearing, you heard what this was all about. We're going to apply for $200,000, then we will make a decision as to which public agency will do the distribution. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
F, resolution 4, 2021, street lighting district for Bridgewood, section 2.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion, second. I'm looking at Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Judge, this is the method per Kentucky Revised Statutes to allocate the meter cost of streetlights installed in subdivisions in unincorporated areas of Daviess County. This resolution is for Section 2 of the Bridgewood subdivision. The subdivision will become a streetlight district where the collective cost of the streetlights will be divided by the amount of parcels in the district and placed on the respective tax bills for collection and ultimate remittance to the utility. The petitioners fulfilled all requirements. Our legal department has reviewed it, and I would recommend approval.
Questions or comments? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
G, rescind the surety bond release for Whispering Meadows Unit 8 as approved on January 26, 2021.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, second. Mark, is that you?
It is.
Can you tell me why we're rescinding something that we spent our valuable time passing?
At last fiscal court, we made an error in some of the paperwork in regards to the correct subdivision name. Whispering Meadows was on the agenda and in the letter, but it should have been Woodland Ridge subdivision. So this item rescinds that release. There is not a Unit 8 of Whispering Meadows, but we do want to go through this process to correct.
Okay, not to get technical, but we made an error?
My office?
Okay. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying.
By saying aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
H, surety bond release for Woodland Ridge subdivision Unit 8.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, any questions or comments for the engineer on this one? Go ahead, Charlie, ask what you were thinking about asking. Are you sure this is correct, engineer?
It is correct.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. I think there's a green snake crawling under this.
Yeah, and I'm thinking it was over by you.
You're right, I got tickled and couldn't say anything. Next item.
I award the following RFQ 2, 2021 finished traffic signs and aluminum. RFQ 3, 2021 ball field, all diamond infield crushed red shale. Bid 59, 2020 West Davis County Landfill Mowing Services. Bid 60, 2020 GPS grade control system for track type unit. I will be skipping the next listed item. We'll address that following. Bid number 2, 2021 one used motor grader. Bid number 3, 2021 HFCP inclusive accessible playground.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Jordan, if you'll go down through each of these, do like we have in the past, just pause at the end. If anybody has a comment or question, we'll ask it then.
Certainly,
And Commissioners, you did understand that 61-2020 is moved down, and we will address that by itself. Okay, go ahead, Jordan.
Beginning with RFQ 02-2021, this quote is for the provision of 499 finished traffic signs and 200 object markers for the road department. We received 3 responsive quotes ranging from $10,688.76 to $18,415.50, and recommend pursuing the lowest quote submitted by Custom Products Corporation in the amount of $10,688.76. This is a budgeted standard restock. There are no exceptions, and I would recommend approval.
Questions or comments, Commissioners? Next item, Jordan.
RFQ 3-2021, this quote is for the provision of approximately 96 tons of FAF coat crushed red shale infill material for ball diamonds at Yellow Creek Park. We received 4 responsive quotes ranging from $8,584 to $10,388, and recommend pursuing the lowest quote submitted by Freeman Athletic Fields in the amount of $8,584. This is a budgeted item. There were no exceptions, and I recommend approval.
Questions or comments, Commissioners?
Do Do they make the delivery, or do we have to go pick it up?
They make the delivery.
They make the delivery.
Any other question or comment? Next item, Jordan.
Bid number 59, 2020. This bid is for the provision of mowing, trimming, and weed eating services for approximately 6 acres at the West Davis County landfill. We received 3 bids ranging from $252 per mowing to $450 per mowing, and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated bid of Green Eyed Monster Lawn Service in the amount of $252 per mowing for the contract period extending from January 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2021. We anticipate 32 instances of mowing per year, which at the recommended rate would be an annual cost of $8,064. This bid will become part of our annual service bid contracts. There were no exceptions. I would recommend approval.
Questions, comments? Next item, Jordan.
Bid number 60, 2020. This bid is for the provision of a GPS grade control system for the CAT DAT WHA waste handler dozer at the West Davis County landfill, and is part of our shift to GPS controlled systems for cell construction and earthwork for greater precision and efficiency. We received 3 bids ranging from $49,915 to $77,375.03, and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated bid of SciTech Mid-South for the 2021 Trimble Earthworks unit in the amount of $49,915. This was a budgeted item. There were no exceptions. I would recommend approval.
Questions, comments? This actually will allow a man to operate the equipment and not have to have somebody out there directing him and looking. He can go by GPS and set the grade. It's pretty cool the way this thing works. Next item.
Bid number 1, 2021. This bid is for the provision of a used motor grader to replace a 1986 John Deere 670A grader for the road department. It should be noted the unit being replaced was offered as trade-in consideration to offset the total purchase price. We received 3 bids ranging from a net $107,000 to a net $214,336, and recommend award to the lowest and best evaluated bid received of Herb Equipment for the 2011 John Deere 672G motor grader, exercising the trade-in option in the net amount of $107,000. This was a budgeted replacement. The unit has been inspected by Road Department and Fleet Maintenance Management. The hours pose no issue on the expected life. There are no exceptions. I would recommend approval.
Question or comment?
I just
Mark?
find it,
Go ahead.
it's just an observation, but I find it interesting that the lowest unit bid price also had the highest trade-in. I just found that kind of odd, but.
Mark, I'm looking, the difference between a new one and an old one is about twice the cost. But we really don't use a grader that much.
That is correct. We have limited amount of rock roads, but we do need to service them, so it's used multiple times a year, but at limited use.
That was it. Any other questions or comments? Next item, Jordan.
Bid number 3, 2021. This bid is for the provision and installation of an inclusive, accessible playground defined by our specifications for Horse Fork Creek Park. We received 6 bids ranging from $149,203.54 to $249,119.47, and recommend the best evaluated bid of Miracle of Kentucky and Tennessee in the amount of $149,591. You'll note we are not recommending the lowest bid. The low bid's exception was that their layout included 40% less square footage of stage structuring than we specified. Given the small differential of $387.46, we believe the recommendation provides the greatest value to the court. It should be noted that this bid is subject to a 50-50 matching grant, and since the recommendation's total did not crest the reimbursement ceiling, Fiscal Court will be reimbursed 50% of the total cost of this project if approved. This was a budgeted item. There were no exceptions. I would recommend approval.
Question or comment? I think I heard Ross state that this will be the first all-inclusive playground in any of our county parks.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. And it's a long time coming. What, we've been at this for 2 years? Yeah. All right. Any other question or comment? Hearing none, Commissioners, you've heard all the recommendations. We have a motion and second to accept. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Jenny?
Approval of bid number 61, 2020, HFCP restroom facilities.
Is that approval or approval to rescind?
It's just approval. You all decide what you'd like to do with it. Correct?
No, I think that it should be approval to rescind the bid. Is that correct? To reject the bid. So I would make a motion that we reject bid number 61-2020.
Second.
All right, Jordan, explain to us what we're doing.
Certainly, Judge. We received 2 bids for the provision and installation of 1 prefabricated restroom facility for Horse Fork Creek Park. The items, prices, and/or exceptions of this bid were outside the range that the county deemed acceptable. We recommend rejecting all bids. I will bring the court a proposal on an alternate avenue for pursuing this project in the near future at a comparable cost that shouldn't be too far off of our targeted opening date.
Okay, questions?
So the way you made the motion, if we vote yes, we're voting yes to reject.
To reject.
Okay.
Yes. Any other questions? I know that after having a conference with Jordan and Mark and looking at the precast and the fact that we can build one, do a design build for pretty much the same price and keep that money locally with our local contractors, we felt it's best to explore that. We believe we can still get it built and ready for the opening of Horse Fork Creek splash pad and the playground for all. So I think that's where we're going. And Jordan has assured me that we will move very quickly, have it on the agenda first meeting in March, correct?
I will try.
Jordan has assured me, right? Okay. If there are no other questions or comments, we haven't voted yet, have we?
We have not.
We have not. All those in favor of rejecting the bid signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
J, promote Ben Howerton to heavy equipment operator.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second, heavy equipment operator at the road department, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ben was doing what? Utility labor?
Service technician.
Service tech, so congratulations, Ben, on the promotion. Any questions or comments? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I assume, Mark, you're going to be bringing me a service tech hiring.
We are working on it now.
Okay, thanks. Next item.
K, hire Marisa Skaruba as animal control administrative assistant effective upon successful completion of pre-employment screening.
Motion approved. Second.
I have a motion and second. David, how many people did we have out there apply for this job? I'm telling you, we got to buy. Jordan, can't you buy better batteries?
Yes. We had numerous applications. I'd say, Commissioner Coger, I think it was about 16 applications, and we interviewed 5. Okay. And this is a replacement employee, and she used to, Commissioner Coger remembers her, she used to be a vet tech out there as part of our OCTC program. And I guess, how long was she out there? You were thinking about a year or so?
Yes.
All right, so.
Okay, so she graduated as a vet tech?
Yes.
Well, that's pretty
Is it from
cool.
OCTC?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. That's a program, if you recall, we put money into and had it brought here. So it's nice to be able to hire some of those folks who
I
graduated.
think now both, we have a vet tech who's also from that program
Yeah.
out there. But as I said, this is an administrative position, but the fact that she's a vet tech does mean there's some flexibility in some of the stuff she can do.
Well, Marissa Skarupa, we're going to have to, Mike, how do you say it?
I'm not gonna say.
That's what I thought.
Smart. I say it the same way Jenny says it.
Yeah, welcome to our workforce. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
L, hire the following parks seasonal workers effective upon successful completion of pre-employment screenings at Panther Creek Park: Terry Robertson, John Roan, Steve Nazarek, David Jones, John Sampley. At Yellow Creek Park: Roy Miller, Robert Stewart, Will Sheldon, Ricky Roberts, and Darrell Roberts.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, these are seasonal employees. I see several names on here that I recognize from the past who, I guess these folks continually, come back every year. I want to say thank you to them for that, and then welcome any of the new employees. Any questions or comments? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
M, appoint Teresa Borman to Davis County Property Maintenance Board, term 2/25/2021 through 2/25/2024.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Charlie, I think this was from the Central District.
It is.
Replacing Carl Worthington, who served 2 terms. I want to say thank you to Carl for that, and welcome Teresa on board. Any question or comment?
I would just add that Carl also worked on the citizen committee when we rewrote our ordinance.
Yes, yeah.
And thank him for that part as well.
Okay. Any other comment or questions? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
N, appoint Paul West to the Owensboro Metropolitan Planning Commission Building Code Appeals Board, term 5/6/2021 to 5/6/2025.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Paul is a joint appointment. The city and the county, the mayor and I talked about it, and he was okay with it. I think the city commission has already approved this appointment. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
O, appoint Cheryl Puritan Spalding to the Ethics Board, term 3/1/2021 to 3/1/2024.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. This says, I think, that David Johnson served 3 terms, but I believe he only served 2, because I think that's the limit, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I want to thank David for serving on the board, and welcome Cheryl Cheryl is an attorney. I believe Cheryl will be the first lady attorney to serve on the ethics board, Claude. Yep. So Cheryl, welcome to the board. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
P, second reading of KOC 220.34/01/2021, an ordinance relating to imposing and collecting an insurance premium license fee on insurance companies for the privilege of doing business in the county of Davis outside of the city of Owensboro, effective July 1, 2019, as amended by KOC 220.22/2009.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, this is the first step in what we hope to be a 2-step process that will be completed next year. We're doing this now because we have to give 100 days notice for this to become effective. Treasurer Hendricks, would you kind of tell us what's going on and why we can do this?
We did the details in the first reading, but to summarize, this ordinance amends the prior ordinance and only deals with the 4% piece that we charge to finance the convention center. That rate is 4%. We do anticipate having collected enough information to service the debt by the end of fiscal year 22. If we don't lower the rate, we will overcollect. So I've done a calculation, and this ordinance lowers the rate from 4% to 2.3%. We won't grossly overcollect, and we should still be able to terminate this piece at the end of fiscal year 22. So a year from now, I anticipate coming back with a filing that would take that piece to 0. We do have to give the insurance department 100 days notice. So there's a deadline by the middle of March, so we have to let them know They'll only change it once a year. So this is our mechanism to lower that rate in hopes of terminating it a year from now.
Question or comment? Commissioners, I just want to let you know that I had an email from Judge Reed Hare thanking us for carrying out the wishes of his court. When this was originally passed, they put a sunset clause on it, which means that we're going to move in that direction. He said something that was kind of funny and true. A lot of times governments will say one thing and they end up doing another, but I'm very pleased and proud that we've been able to do this during our court, and look forward to moving the other part of it out of the way next year. Yes, sir.
I'd like to thank Jim for his service. And, he's worked hard at refinancing the bonds, et cetera, to allow this to happen.
Okay, any other question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
3, consideration for discussion, A, other business to be brought before the Daviess County Fiscal Court.
Have none.
No, sir. B, public comments.
This is the time during our meeting in which we normally would ask the public to approach the podium, identify themselves, and they're welcome to speak on anything other than what was on the agenda. David, do you have anything? Jordan, anything back there? All right, so we have no public comment. Next item.
C, comments by Daviess Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Colger.
Yeah, I'd like to thank our road department and Mark for a job well done. I think, I know there's been a couple accidents with no injury. I believe the people in Daviess County have been satisfied with the clearing of all the roads known. I know they've worked a lot of hours, and I'd like for you to tell all the folks out there how much we appreciate what they've done through these snow days.
And I'm sure we all echo those comments, Commissioner. Thank you. Anything else? Nothing else?
Oh, no, no,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Commissioner Wathen.
Just ditto what Mike said. Tell them that we really appreciate it. We know they work 12-hour shifts, and it was cold and wet, and thank you.
Will do, thank you.
Commissioner Castland.
I'll just say ditto to what Mike said.
Okay, first of all, I want to apologize to our engineer for giving him such grief tonight, but it was just, Charlie was over here making funny signs to me, and I just couldn't hold back, so.
Understand, Judge.
Would it be appropriate to let any viewers that may be watching know that that's just not so?
BS, it wouldn't be appropriate. I'd rule you out of order.
Yeah.
A couple things. First of all, commissioners, typically when we are appointing folks, I try to consult with you guys who are liaison. In this case, we needed somebody to serve on the airport board and finish a term, and I've chosen Commissioner Castland to serve on that board, and by executive order, I put him on that board so he would be there to represent us. Thank you for agreeing to do that.
You're welcome.
I don't know if you're aware, but today we had 18 positive COVID tests reported. That was 4 yesterday. 18 is down from a high of about 105 back 6 weeks ago. I don't think we had seen 18, a number that low since the end of October. So masks are helping, social distancing is helping. The vaccinations in particular are helping. I talked to Clay Horton, and we've got just about all the folks in the nursing homes and assisted living where 70% of the deaths were occurring, and we've just about got them vaccinated. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, 90% of the deaths were occurring in those people who were not 70 years old or older. So we're on the right path. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Today, 60 and older, that 1C was opened up to vaccination now, to schedule vaccinations. Commissioner Wathen, you and I had talked about essential workers, particularly our landfill and transfer station. They fall under 1C, but it's gonna be a little bit before they will go to them. They're trying to get the other folks in that 60 and under, but they are moving in that direction. It's all vaccine dependent. We just can't get enough vaccine into the Commonwealth to take care of everybody that needs vaccine. I would tell you that we've gone from receiving 54,000 doses a week to about 89,000 doses a week. So we've seen, what, a 40 to 45% increase over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Be interesting, next week I have a special guest, Secretary Jim Gray, the KYTC secretary, will be on for our COVID update. And you know, they also named him as the COVID czar. And he has been instrumental in helping develop programs to get the vaccine distributed in sites and things like that. And I might even slap a little question or two about transportation in there. The last thing that I've got to announce is Tuesday during an Audubon area meeting, GRITS, which is the Green River Transit Authority, announced that they will provide free transportation for anyone that's needing transportation to a vaccine site. And I'm sorry I don't have the number, but if you look at under Audubon area on their Facebook page for GRITS, if you will call them and give them 24 hours notice, they will get you transportation to and from your vaccination site. Now, they're not going to take somebody in Daviess County down to Madisonville or up to Breckenridge County. This would be intra-county. So if somebody in Daviess County needs a ride in Daviess County, call them. It's free, won't cost you a thing. And I really do appreciate GRITS taking that job on. Lastly, the health department, the Green River District Health Department is also vaccinating 1C. Their vaccine supply went from roughly 100 units a week to right at 700 units a week. So they're starting to get more and more in. So as I said, light at the end of the tunnel, can't give up. Let's continue to do what we're doing and get it down to someday when we report 0 cases and 0 deaths. If there's no other business to be brought before Daviess County Fiscal Court without exception, we're adjourned.